Hey guys, it's Paige or Duchess Celestia, and today we're going to talk about something that I've personally struggled with for a really long time now, and that is staying confident as a small creator. This topic is one that I've spent a long time feeling really crushed by, and I'm 100% sure that most creators of any kind have felt just as crushed by feelings of inadequacy, hopelessness, and creative nihilism. I know you're all waiting with bated breath for me to depress the hell out of you, but the point of this video is not to do that. I'm going to talk about exactly why it's so easy to feel like giving up, and exactly why you shouldn't. And if one single person hears this and chooses to believe in themselves and their passion, that's all I want. But before I get into that, as always, the art. I've spent the majority of November working on a whole bunch of apparel designs to be sold on my brand new Etsy, link in the description, buy merch. And this is one of them. It's inspired by a few prints and designs that I saw and wanted to put my own spin on, and I really like how it turned out. I was originally planning on releasing all of my designs at once so that they would be orderable in time for Christmas, but because the fulfillment company I work with has decided to personally attack me with a 2-item per day limit on what you can add to your store, I'll be posting a new design once a day for the first 2 weeks of December. I'll only be posting videos with some of them. I'll post the other time lapses and speed paints for the other designs over on my Ko-fi, so if you'd like to see those as well, check that out. Anyway, on with the heavy shit. So, in what is becoming an increasingly digital world, we're really lucky as artists to have the internet to offer us such a wider range of influence. We have so many more ways to create and put what we create out there than any generation before us. Artists of all kinds have so many more options now to pursue creative endeavors, and while that's something I'm genuinely grateful for every day, it's a double-edged sword that almost everyone I know has been repeatedly stabbed by on the daily. It's easier for artists to share their content, and that's awesome, but because it's so easy, everyone is doing it. The pool of content is so oversaturated and huge and full of people making the same stuff you are and promoting it in the exact same way, and it feels so often like no matter how hard you try, you're pouring your heart out into what you make for it to be thrown into that pool only to disappear into the masses of everything else that's already there. It's so easy to get weighed down by that and feel like you're just never gonna be seen, and it's so easy to give up. And I know I've been very close to that more times than I can count now. But I've spent the past year really reflecting on just, do I want to be constantly on the verge of giving up on a creative career? Is it worth it to keep pushing? Am I actually gonna get anywhere with it? It's been a whole quarantined better part of a year spent really pondering this shit and asking myself what really matters to me. And what it comes down to is that at least for me, it's all or nothing. I have to make a choice here and either let those feelings of inadequacy win, or throw every bit of myself into my art and my career, and I chose the latter. I made a Ko-fi, a new store, new merch, a YouTube channel. All I do is work these days, and there's no better feeling. Knowing that I'm all in and really giving it my all has filled me with more confidence and drive than I felt in a really long time. And I hope that by talking about how I got to that point, despite having almost no following, will help other small creators out there who might be feeling how I was. Now, I'm going to get into a lot of ways to stay confident from here on out, but I'm also going to be honest and tell you that I knew every single one of those ways before this year, and they weren't enough to pull me out of that cycle of depression and hopelessness. They're like tools, honestly, and you can't really use a tool when you're so tired and hopeless and sad that it feels like there's no point in using them. So I'm going to talk about those first, but then I'm going to talk about what really changed things for me and helped me actually use them. The first thing, and the thing that, practically speaking, is one of the most important things to remember, is that for creators online, success is pretty much measured by numbers. Followers, subscribers, likes. If those numbers are high, you're succeeding. If they're not, it feels like you're not. But the biggest thing here is to remember that while those numbers being high does mean success in a lot of ways, those numbers being low doesn't mean failure. It means that the road to getting those numbers high is a long one, and that it'll be a long time before they are. And everything you make and put out there is a step to get there, even if those individual things don't get crazy good reception or engagement. You can make gorgeous, incredible art and get 10 likes on it. And you need to put up a barrier in your mind between knowing that the goal is to get higher numbers, and the feeling that not getting those numbers means that what you're making is bad. Making good content doesn't mean you'll be instantly successful, and if you want to stay confident, you need to remind yourself every single day that the actual quality of what you're making is not defined by the engagement that it gets online. High engagement and a big following are the goals at the end of a road, full of not just making good stuff, but climbing a huge-ass ladder of networking, consistency, marketing, and so much more. And not reaching that goal with every post or thing that you make just means that you're still climbing. And climbing takes more than just good content, so you need to remind yourself that those numbers don't mean that what you're making itself isn't good. Good quality of what you make is like the foundation of a house, but building that house means a combination of a million things. And you can't let the fact that building a house with those millions of things is hard convince you that the foundation you have isn't good enough. Something else I've struggled with when it comes to staying confident as a small creator is honestly jealousy. I look at artists who have made it, and it feels like I'm trying 10 times as hard as them to get 1/100th of the reception and payoff that they get. And that's so often something that's a blow to my confidence, and I have to remind myself that it's not that simple. Success as a creator is an insanely hard process, and yeah, those artists do get more engagement on just a small doodle than I get on a finished piece, but that's just because they're farther along in that process than I am. It means that they went through just as hard of a time as I am now, when their full pieces didn't get as many likes as someone else's quick doodle. They pushed through that, and now they're reaping the benefits of having done so, and that shouldn't be something to be looked on with jealousy, but something that should be inspirational. Comparison is where creative confidence goes to die. And as small creators, we should always try not to compare ourselves to bigger, more successful creators, but try to look at them as motivational. We should look at them as the reason we're trying so hard every day, because we want to be like them. And instead of looking at their likes and followers with envy or disdain, we should be thinking, hey, you know what? Nice. Someday I'll get there too, and respect to them for having gotten there now. So, as I said, those are things that have always been really helpful for me to remind myself of when it comes to staying confident, but they haven't been enough, at least for me, to get past the doubt. But this next thing was. And it feels so silly to think and say that this is what really changed things for me, because it's so fucking simple and small, and it doesn't sound like something that should make that big of a difference, but it did. Near the beginning of quarantine, the YouTube algorithm gave me what might be the best gift I've received in a long-ass time, and that was the Grumps Wave Success and Creativity stream. If you know Game Grumps, which I'm pretty sure most people do, you know that they're comedy gold with nuggets of hard fucking hitting wisdom scattered through all of their content. And Grumps Wave takes a vaporwave aesthetic, lo-fi music, and those nuggets, and combines them into something that has inspired a huge number of people. The whole thing was really inspirational to me, and if you haven't seen it, you absolutely should. I'll link it in the description and put it in a card up there. But there were a few parts that really hit me hard and made me sit my ass down and think about how I was seeing my art and how I was seeing my life. I don't actually think this particular bit was in the Grumps Wave video that I linked, or another one, because there are multiple, but I can't find it, so wherever it is. Dan essentially said that people are always asking if they can do it, if they can make it as a creator, and that that's not even a question. It's a fact that yeah, you can. It's not a question of whether or not you can succeed at a thing. It's about how hard you're willing to work for that thing, and how relentlessly you're willing to pursue it. If you throw every part of your effort and yourself into what you're making, and you're giving it your all every single day to get that shit out there, you're going to make it. It's just that it's a long, long fucking road. It's full of that hopelessness, it's full of doubt, it's full of the feeling like you might never succeed. It's not about whether you're good enough at what you do, or lucky enough. It's about whether or not you have it in you to wake up to that doubt and that fear every single day, and keep fighting it. Keep putting everything you have into what you're doing, even when it feels like there's no point. If you can follow that road to the end, you're not doing that for a maybe I'll do well enough to succeed. You're doing it for a guarantee that eventually, if you never give up, you're going to succeed. And honestly, that brought me to tears. It's such a simple thing, it's so small, but hearing that was like being hit so hard all at once with just hope. And hope is such a hard thing to find as a small creator, when everything about your confidence feels like it's decided by the number of likes your work gets, and when you know that that number is going to be low for a long fucking time. And I think the reason this was so big for me was that it didn't just give me hope. Lots of things have given me hope and pushed me forward in my art career, but they felt like short bursts of it that are few and far between. And it's felt like those little bursts had to carry me through the depression and the fear until I found another one. But this simple goddamn concept that this brilliant, beautiful man put into words so well didn't give me a one-time burst of hope. It gave me a well of it. It gave me something to hold on to every single day. And I can say without hesitation that every single day since I heard it and really reevaluated the way that I looked at things, holding on to that has given me that same rush of hope that it did the first time. There's something freeing in really believing and accepting that your success isn't in the hands of luck, or other people, or circumstance, or something that's just out of your control. It's you. It's in your hands. It's up to you and no one else. And that's so daunting because that puts so much pressure on you as a creator. But at least for me, it helped me take my power over my own life back. And it made it so that the effort that I put into what I make is concretely, measurably going towards something, even when it feels like it isn't. It makes it feel like every day I keep giving my all to my dreams, it's a victory. And that for me is the biggest and most overwhelmingly important way that I'm staying confident as a small creator. For every 100 small creators that try to take a leap and make their place in the world with what they create, maybe one of them will persevere and keep at it for long enough to actually make it. So be that creator. Be the one who doesn't give up no matter how much it feels like you should. So to end off everything I've said, let me just tell you exactly what Dan said in that stream that I needed to hear, because if you clicked on this, you need to hear it too. If you feel like no one believes in you, I fucking believe in you. So go out and do that shit that you want to do. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And more than that, I hope that at least some of it resonated with you how that stream resonated with me. Because if you're hearing this, you deserve to follow your dreams and find success doing so. And I hope with every fiber of my being that you find the hope and determination that you need to do so. If you liked today's video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'll be back to my regular upload schedule of one video each week on either Friday or Saturday, and you can have a say in what I talk about in those videos by voting on it over on my Twitter, which there's a link to in my description. Also, please check out my Ko-fi. You can help support me in my dreams and get some exclusive content and discounts while you're at it. Have a good one, guys, and stay hopeful.